Hi guys, here I am back with another video for you today. Today's video is a video I shot on Zoom with the owner of Scents of Wood, Fabrice. Interesting, I had met him about 5 years ago at Saks with his previous brand. But fast forward to last year in 2020, I received 3 samples from Fabrice, which I just tracked down because they were right in front of me and I couldn't see them. And out of the 3 samples, these are what the samples look like. I instantly fell in love with this one, which doesn't have a name on it, but he had supplied a small sheet of paper with the names of the perfumers. This one ended up being Plum and Cognac. Really delicious boozy fragrance. I love boozy fragrances, and it's interesting. His brand is called Scents of Wood, and I think boozy fragrances are perfect for his brand. Because it's all about wood, and what do spirits and liqueurs age in woody barrels. So you'll hear a lot about this type of usage in a lot of his fragrances, which is very, very interesting. But the other interesting thing about Scents of Wood is it's a subscription service where you sign up and you get fragrances every month in small sizes. So it's a great idea. I've never heard of anything like that. But you can still also buy the fragrances in bottles as well. But the subscription, I think, is a great idea because it comes in a 10 ml small mini size. Plus you get the same fragrance in a candle and a small leaf incense. You'll hear all about this in the video. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. It's pretty long, but sit back and enjoy. It's the holidays. A perfect time to watch a video about woody fragrances, and we have one giveaway, a USA and Canada giveaway in this video as well. So sit back, as I said, and enjoy this video. All right, hello Fabrice, how are you doing today?
Sebastian, I'm great, thank you. I'm very happy that we finally get to do this. It's been a while that we discussed we were going to do this, and
I know.
And then life, and then COVID, and then all those things.
2020 just slipped away so fast.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
But you've been busy with your brand, Scents of Wood. Tell me a little bit about that, and then I have a bunch of questions for you.
Yeah, so we launched Scents of Wood in September 2020, so on the day of the fall equinox in September 2020, which was September 22nd. And that was as arguable a moment to launch a business of any kind as can possibly be, as you can imagine. But what happened is that I had really this vision of doing a fragrance business that would be direct to consumer and direct to consumer only, contrary to my previous business, which is the reason why we know each other in the first place. You recall we met at Saks.
Yeah,
years ago or something, and so that actually was a blessing in disguise. The fact that I had organized my entire brand and my entire business proposition to be direct to consumer really saved us and made it possible for us to launch in this tricky time. And in order to go direct to consumer, my choice was to build a subscription model. Now, there are a few subscription models in the world of fragrances, as you well know, but there are usually subscription models that allow you to sample fragrances from many different brands. Yeah. And my idea was I would like to take customers on a journey that is specific to our brand, specific to the idea that I had around fragrances and candles inspired by forests and trees, aged in wooden barrels, and created by some of the best perfumers on the planet. You know, that always was in 3 sentences. That always was the idea for Scents of Wood. And so I started like this, a little bit shooting in the dark. I didn't know what the response was going to be, and it turned out to be really enthusiastic. People were really interested. We sold out of the first subscription quite fast, and within a few months, and
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, our subscriptions are only 1 year long, right? So we sold out within a few months. We just started the second subscription last month, and we're selling the second subscription right now. And yeah, the business is growing, and the brand is finding its audience, I think. And I'm really excited about that. It's really cool.
Cool. Yeah. So how long were you developing this brand before COVID started? Was it like Like you took like a couple of years to develop it? And
Yeah, I always had this idea of doing. I've been, my previous brand, as you know, was all about flowers, and this brand is all about wood. And basically, what I'm doing is I'm following the
nature?
well, I'm following the wheel of the fragrance wheel of Michael Edwards. And as a matter of fact, 2 weeks ago, I had a video conference with Michael Edwards, and I thanked him for how important his invention was in my business imagination, if you will. And it was a wonderful conversation. What a great man to have a conversation with. And I told him, I just like, the reason why there's this brand called Scents of Wood is because you once decided that one of the quadrants of your fragrance wheel should be woody notes. And I've been trying to imagine a brand that would be all about woody notes ever since. And then it came to fruition when I started working on it. So before launching it, yeah, it had been like growing in me for many years. And then I worked on it for a couple of years, and then the longest gestation, probably the longest part of it is obviously there's the concept, there's the design, but it's working with the perfumers on the scents. That takes a lot of time, especially with an idea that you're going to launch a new scent every month. So you need to start a new subscription, a new collection with the entire year ready, because as you know very well, fragrance is not only a scent, it's also coloration, it's also a set of toxicology testing and stability testing and all the. I mean, there's a lot of work, so
a lot of involvement. So then you knew you were going to do a brand about woods, focusing on woods, and you launched it in September of 2020, the height of the pandemic.
Yes, yeah.
But I received your samples initially, and I thought that the plum and cognac was a great scent right off the bat. But you sent that early on. I thought it was fairly early on, right?
I think I sent you samples before the launch, 1 month before the launch, as a preview of what I was working on. And indeed, plum and cognac was one of the scents that I sent you. And I mean, you have very good taste, because he ended up being a fragrance extraordinaire of the year in 2021. Got
That's awesome.
that amazing award from the Fragrance Foundation, which was absolutely humbling and flattering and exciting and surprising at the same time. We were just like a 6-month-old brand, and it has helped with the recognition of our brand, the awareness of our brand a lot, and so yeah.
Cool. So when you create a fragrance like plum and cognac, is that something that you had in your mind, or you just you gave carte blanche to Pascal, the perfumer, to create something? How does the whole fragrance come about?
So I've been telling that story to a few times. What I designed a way of briefing perfumers that is very different from what I've been doing in the past and what other brands might be doing. I asked them to close their eyes and to think about what I call their personal forest. And the personal forest is we can do it with you right now. If you close your eyes and you think about all the trees that have played a role in your life, all the trees, the first tree that you climbed when you were a kid, or the last tree that you saw that you thought was beautiful, you have this inner forest, right? And then if you were a perfumer, then I would ask you to choose one and to create a scent around it. Mm-hmm. And then also what I would ask you would be to chat to me about it and tell me about that tree, its shape, its scent, its colors, its all those things. And then that would trigger a conversation that would end up being a fragrance story, And I don't know what you saw, but everybody has trees in their mind. We just don't conjure them up typically in our everyday life because we don't talk about that. But I yet have to meet somebody who will tell me I see nothing. Apple
tree.
Apple tree for you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So right there,
Yeah.
And that apple tree is not just any apple tree. You visualize where that apple tree was growing, or it still probably exists, and because they live in a bit of a different time than we do, and what you were doing on that apple tree, and how old you were, and with whom you were, and all those things, right? It's a true emotional. It's a piece of the emotional life of Sebastian, right? That we're talking about.
Yeah.
And
delicious and juicy apples growing on there.
okay, well, you see, I mean, and it puts a smile on your face immediately. And, you know, and so that's the way I've chosen to brief perfumers for this project and for this brand. And two things about that is, one, it makes for very personal, sincere, emotional conversations with them that, you know, they end up unveiling things that they don't necessarily unveil in the typical process of creating a fragrance for another brand, because it's a slice of themselves that they talk about. And then two, in terms of creation, it makes that creation very dear to their hearts, because it's as if they were gifting an olfactive part of themselves to the world, right? In a way. And so that's how every single scent that composes our collection has been created. And the apple tree conversation is a conversation that I had with Natasha Coté a year ago, and that gave way to the creation of a fragrance called Oud in Calvados, which is
Ooh,
oud
that
fragrance.
sounds yummy.
We aged the alcohol in a Calvados barrel, and it's so this oud apple core that we will be launching in, I think it's in March, April, and yeah, so that was, you know, that was this type of conversation. Yeah,
I've traveled to Calvados country in France.
yeah, okay. Well,
That stuff is a little strong, but I found a few that tastes good actually. Not a lot of appley flavor in there though.
it's a little strong because it's meant to be it's a real digestive, right? You know they drink Calvados in the middle of the meals, right? So that just to create like a buffer between one feast and another, basically, for meals that are extremely long, and so yeah, it's very strong for sure. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I can't wait for that. So let's go back to the plum and cognac. How did you figure out that you wanted to work with Pascal Garin for the plum and cognac? Or how do you actually, beyond that, how do you figure out you want to work with a certain perfumer for a certain perfume brief or concept?
So I didn't choose per perfumer. You might recall that my previous brand I developed entirely with Firmenich. And I always had this idea in mind that I would love to do one brand with Firmenich, one brand with AFF, one brand with Givaudan, because they are the three biggest fragrance houses. And then pepper a few independent perfumers on this. And then by the time I retire, I will have worked with all the perfumers in the world, right? It's kind of my dream.
That's one of the questions I was going to ask you, because I noticed that a lot of the perfumers for this brand are with IFF, correct?
They're all with IFF.
They're all, okay.
Yeah, so I didn't approach, first off, Firmenich, with whom I have a very good relationship and did wonderful work. I did wonderful work with. Were interested in doing this brand, and I told them that I told them exactly what I just told you. To which they say, "Oh, of course." I said, "Well, then okay." And then I approached IFF, and Nicolas Mirzaillance, who was in charge of the fine fragrances back then, and whom I've known for a long time, loved the project immediately and said, okay, no, we absolutely are going to do this. And so he organized the first meeting for me to come to their office in New York and talk to everyone in the company about this. And many perfumers were part of that. And then after that first meeting, I had one-on-one conversation with each of them, and 5 of them were super excited and started proposing fragrances. So for the first collection, I worked with Carlos Benaim and Pascal Gorin, Yves Cassard, Céline Darel, and Mackenzie Riley, and they all did magnificent work. And for the second collection, 9 perfumers wanted to work on the second collection, for those and for more. And then for the third collection, which is going to be the third subscription that starts in September next year, I am currently working on the fragrance development, of course. And I have 11 perfumers who are working now on that third collection. And then 4 of them are in Paris, 5 of them are in Paris. And I'm leaving tomorrow to meet with them in Paris and see their creation and continue the work of development. So it's growing, gradually. More and more perfumers are interested, and it's really fun to see more and more of those amazing creative minds tackling the concept. And
nice.
Yeah.
One of my favorite perfumers is at IFF, Dominique Ropion, and I also really like the perfumes of Julia and Rascanet. So hopefully you'll work with them in the future.
I'm meeting with Julien on Tuesday next week. I'm very excited. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool.
That's good to know. I like his stuff. Yeah. Nice. Cool. All right. So you currently have 17 perfumes. That's a lot of perfumes in a year, right?
Actually, 20.
You have 20.
Yeah, let me do the breakdown for you. We start every subscription with a collector's box, right? I wanted every subscription to start with a collectible object that would be unique in the world of fragrance. And so last year's collector's box had 5 scents in it, including plum and cognac, actually, and then 1 per month for 12 months, and then we start again. So 5 plus 12 is 17. So 17 is what we did over the course of the first subscription. And then we just launched our new collector's box, which you have, and that's and that has 3 more scents in it. So altogether, we've launched 20 fragrances in the past 15 months. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And we're going to keep at that one new scent every month, because otherwise, what's the interest of a subscription model? I mean, I just want to give our subscribers something new every month for them to, and they don't have to like them all. I'm not even sure I love them all at the same level, even though they're all technically my olfactive kids, right? But they don't have to. Subscribers don't have to fall in love every month.
No, they don't. Yeah.
What's interesting?
Can't like everything.
Yeah. What's interesting to me is the act of comparison, the contrast between one month and the next, and also the exploration. This idea of exploring every single facet of olfaction through through woody notes in the beginning. So exploring woody florals, exploring woody ambery and pure woods, and woody fresh and woody leathery, and now we're going to start with woody gourmands. I'm also very interested in synthetic molecules that have a woody aspect to them, and that's a category in of itself for me that we're going to explore this year. And all of that is as an interest in my mind, and so subscribing to Sense of Wood is exploring all of that. Nice. And then sometimes falling in love.
Yeah, out of this collection, I really love this praline in maple. I think that's really, really delicious. And I use maple on a lot of different things, and I could smell the maple in here authentically. So that's great. that particular fragrance that you love is kind of an ode to Canadian perfumery, if I can say that. Let me tell you why. Natasha Coté, who is the perfumer who created this fragrance, always says she's the only Canadian perfumer in the world. And so when we were working, we were discussing her memories, like you and I just did, and her, for another scent, she was talking about this apple tree, but for this particular scent, she was talking about maple, and she was talking to me about what it feels like to be the only one of your kind in your country, and I thought that was an interesting angle, an interesting story, and I contacted maple syrup manufacturers, and some of them age their maple syrup in wooden barrels, and so I purchased such a wooden barrel from them, and that's how we ended up aging the alcohol. And so that particular barrel has had 3 lives. It's American oak. It was cut into a barrel and manufactured into a barrel in Kentucky. They aged bourbon there for 10 years. And then those people I purchased it from in Canada purchased it from the bourbon manufacturer because it had that bourbon character to it, and they thought it was interesting for their syrup. They put the syrup in it, and they aged syrup, and they used that for a couple of years. And then I came and I bought that, and they accepted to sell it to me, and then cleaning it, and then we ended up aging our alcohol, our organic sugarcane alcohol, into that barrel, and then use that for the praline composition that Natasha created. And the result is really super interesting. It's super intriguing. It's very different from any scent that exists, in my opinion. And it's our first, yeah, and it's our first true woody gourmand, which I think is interesting. So it's a territory that we haven't been exploring so far, and
Yeah, that's what it is. And there's more. There's clove and there's pepper and there's olibanum in it and patchouli and But at the core, it is this idea of praline, of something that is so gourmand in a maple bottle. Yeah.
My favorite fragrances are gourmands, so that's why I like plum and cognac and the praline and maple. So
we'll soon be delighted by another splendid gourmand fragrance that we're going to be launching this year. And it's in June or May maybe, and it's called Bread in Chestnut. And
ooh,
it is
love chestnuts.
It is nice. So I think you will love it.
Okay, so let me go back to the subscription plan. So are you interested in your consumers to buy your subscription plans or go directly to buying the bottles?
Well, I mean, honestly, I'm not going to prevent anyone from buying whatever they want.
Oh, yeah.
However, in my mind, the idea is I really like people to enter the world of Scents of Wood through the subscription, because that gives them a way to sample in depth all the work that we have done over a year, right? And they sample it not only as a scent, as 10 ml vial that they receive, but they also sample it as candles. And now every year every month they receive also incense leaves. So they can try the scents in 3 different formats: candle, incense, and fragrance. And if they fall in love with one particular scent, then yeah, of course, go ahead and buy the 75 ml that you just showed. Of course, if you want to jump directly to the 75 ml because of the award that we got with Plum Cognac, or because you watch Sebastian's video and you trust Sebastian and he said that Praline Maple was great, awesome. But my idea always was subscribe, try every month. It's $44 a month. It's not, and you get like a new scent every month in 3 different formats. I think it's a fairly good deal. And at the same time, it's an opening into a real journey of exploration by some of the best perfumers in the world with an interesting concept around woody notes, forest, and trees. We're not doing it. And then if you love them, then go for it. Yeah.
So when they sign up, they get this big kit, and it's 3 scents, like I got, and then every month they get a new scent in 3 formats.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And that's how you filled up your catalog so fast with the subscription service, because you were doing it month to month.
That's correct. Yeah.
So let's talk about this woody scents. It's like a map, like a forest map or something.
So last year, in the first subscription, I did a book that was like a Japanese album that was telling the story of the brand, because we were just born, and I just wanted to explain why we're doing what we're doing. This year, I worked with a Spanish artist by the name of Lisa Rubin, and she's a collage artist. And together we imagine an imaginary island that is the island of this year. And she did a little collage for every single scent that subscribers are going to get this year. And you can see the path of the explorer on the island from one month to the next. And when you unfold the map, it gives you an idea of what you're going to see and receive the entire year. And so we added that map, which I think is really cool and beautiful and interesting and different from anything that exists in fragrances. We added that map, a beautiful printout of that map in the box. And I'm super happy with this because so many people have told me, that map is awesome. It's so beautiful. I'm going to put it on my wall. I'm going to frame it. If you do this, send me pictures. Nothing's going to make me happier than I want to see that. So, that's the idea. It's a bit cool. It's a unique object in fragrance. That's what it is. Yeah.
So everyone that signs up, they get that for the year.
Yeah, that's right.
So the subscription started in September, you said, correct?
Yeah, but whenever you subscribe, you get the same scent in the same order. So whether you subscribe, it was supposed to start on the day of the fall equinox in September, but because of supply chain issues, we had to start at the end of October. So whether you start, in November or in February, you will get the box as the first, and then the second, first, and third for 12 months. So in the same order. So
then do you get last year's scents, or do you just get this year's scents?
Oh, you get this year's scents.
So we missed out on last year.
Oh, I mean, it's too late for last year. It's sold out. The subscription is sold out. Well, you can buy the scents from last year as
bottles,
or as trios of 10 ml that you can do that, and candle.
Oh,
but the subscription is over. Yeah.
Okay.
The subscription this year will sell out in a few months as well, and then people will go through.
Oh, so you have limited space for the subscriptions.
Always, yeah, they're all limited edition. Yeah.
And what's the monthly price?
$44 a month.
And even including the big kit, or how's
the first month you pay $98 for the kit, and $44 for 12 months.
Okay, cool. All right, let me ask you. Oh, go ahead.
The box itself has a value of $240, so you get it for $98, which is already amazing. And then $44, you get a new scent every month. Yeah, so yes.
It's a great looking box. It's very woody.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you about the incense. Tell me how that's done, because you mentioned there was some felt in here.
Do you have a cup? Do you have a little cup, like a teacup or something?
I don't. Not in my studio, unfortunately. But
okay, just imagine that your hand is a little plate. Then you put that little felt, right? And then you're going to put a leaf on top of that, right? Now, before you place the leaf on top of the felt, you're going to light it ablaze and blow on it immediately to extinguish the flame. And then that what remains of the flame, that very little fringe of fire, will just gradually, in 5 to 7 minutes, will go through the entire leaf and provoke just like emanating a smoke that is perfumed the same way than the scent that you have in the vial or the candle. And so in your case, you can try the praline and maple, which you will recognize easily smelling them. And I think that's ebony and oak. And then it will perfume your studio in 5 to 7 minutes in a way that is really, really quite unique. And we're working with a company in Japan that is the oldest manufacturer of incense in Japan, and it's been it's been really quite an amazing journey, and I'm super happy with the result of that. Yeah.
So cool. This seems like the concept of Papillard Harmony. Is that kind of similar?
It's very similar. It's kind of it's the woody Japanese version of the Papillard Harmony. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. And I want to talk to you a little bit about your bottles, because I think your bottles are amazing looking. So how long did it take for you to create these, and the caps, especially these like wooden looking caps?
Well, first of all, those bottles, they're customizable, right? There's 3 different types of ceramics.
Yeah, it's another question I was going to ask you. 3 different colors. 3 different
colors of ceramics, 2 different caps, and we're going to keep adding treatments for both the cap and the bottle, and also the medallion. They're 75 ml. So I'm passionate about Japan, which is why the brand has 3 names. It's called Scents of Wood, it's called Lame du Bois, and it's called Shinrin Yoku. And
I thought it looked a little Japanese, but I thought maybe that was just your design.
Very Japanese. I mean, it means Shinrin Yoku, which is Japanese for forest bathing, forest bath.
Oh, okay.
And so when I worked with a designer who is a dear friend of mine. His name is Marc-Ange, and a lot of the bottles that you have on your shelves behind have been designed by him. He's a very famous perfume bottle designer. And we were trying to find a way of expressing this idea of having a new scent, a new tree, a new forest every month. In the beginning, we were playing with the idea of having every single cap in the shape of a tree, but a different tree. And that was extremely complicated and not as beautiful as I thought it would be, and also a nightmare of production. And at some point, we decided to narrow it down to the abstraction of a tree and a branch, which is what you have in your hands right now. And underneath that, I wanted to have a bottle that would be an homage to Japanese ceramics, because I collect Japanese ceramics and I really love them, and I think they're so beautiful. And we added the belt that was a little bit like a karate belt, around the, and then with the medallion. And then we ended up creating this object, which I think is really, really beautiful. And then very quickly, almost as soon as the bottle was out and available, a few months after we started our business, people said, "But it looks like a heart. Is it intentional?" And the truth is, it was not intentional. It does look like it was not our idea, but it's the case. And yeah, we own it. It looks like a heart. It's awesome. So now I call it
awesome. Yeah.
Now I call it the heart of the forest. But in the beginning, the idea of the heart was not what we had in mind. Yeah. Sometimes things happen like that. And a lot of people have been saying, "Oh, it reminds me of a Christian Lacroix fragrance called C'est la vie that came out in the 90s."
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, if you put them side by side, it's not exactly similar. So that is a transparent bottle, and it really was meant to look like a heart, and it's also coral at the top. It's very different. But yeah, that's the story of the bottle in a nutshell.
So do you plan on doing a clear bottle, or are they going to be all different colors?
All opaque, with different renderings. Yeah.
Cool. And then that'll come in the future.
Yeah, I really like when I look at my bottles on my desk and together. I really like the opacity of it. I really like the fact that they look like a strong and at the same time delicate object like that. And I think that contrast and that blend between strength and subtlety, if you will, comes from the opacity in great part. So I want to keep that.
Cool. They're Instagram ready.
Yeah, very much. Yes. Very much.
Because they're hardly reflective.
Yeah.
All right. So anybody that wants to buy a bottle will be able to just choose, right? It's available right now on the website. They can do that. Whatever color you have options right now. You have the black,
ivory and chocolate. So we have 3 different, and then the cap can be black and gold.
Gold.
And we're gonna have a new medallion soon. We're gonna have new colors. Yeah, we're gonna keep.
A lot of stuff. Cool. So let me go back to the subscription once again. How many bottles do you envision having by the end of the subscription running out? I mean, by the end of this, like next year when you're starting the new subscription.
Well, it will be 32, 17 plus 15. So 2 times 12, which is 24, plus 3 for the box that you just showed, plus 5 for the box that you did the first year. So that's 24 plus 8, which is 32.
Wow, that's a lot.
There's a lot of scents, but that's one, fragrance development is my favorite part of this job. So I'm not complaining about the amount of work that it represents. 2, the brand seems to be touching a nerve with perfumers. They're really interested. They really want to be part of it, and they have ideas. So it's not. And then 3. I don't have a choice really if I want to be true to our subscribers and really propose a new scent every month, and then keep enchanting them with new discoveries and really create a journey. Well, that's what I set off to do. That's what I'm going to do.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Yeah. So where are the only place they can buy your fragrances are on your website, right?
Right. So until very recently was the case, and then I was contacted by a few retailers. So there's a few places in the US, few niche fragrance retailers that have the brand. There's Fumery in Portland. There is Perfumology in Philadelphia. There's La Perfumerie in Raleigh, North Carolina. There is a barber shop in West Palm Beach called El Cid, where the brand is also present. And I have a couple of other retailers in mind for the future. And then here in Park City, Utah, where we're located, where we live, there's a couple of places that have the brand also, but that's part of just being represented at a local level, and them supporting a little bit small businesses, which is cool because Park City is a place that a lot of people visit. They come for skiing, they come for Sundance, so it's nice to be present here as well. For sure.
Nice. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
No, I'm really glad that we had this conversation. Thank you very much for your questions. And I will keep.
It's an exciting brand, I have to say. I'm intrigued by the concept of month-to-month fragrances. It's like very exciting for me.
Well, I keep sharing them with you, and you can tell me what you think every month.
Excited for the Calvados one.
Yes, that's coming, and also the gourmand one, that the bread and chestnut, which I'm sure you're absolutely going to know. So thank you so much, Sebastian.
Thank you so much for doing this video. And as promised, we do have a giveaway. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a giveaway here for a full bottle of either plum and cognac or praline and maple. Bottle of choice to a subscriber of this channel here on YouTube. And we're also going to air the video on Instagram you'll have a chance of participating in the giveaway there as well. Please make sure you're subscribed. And I think what you should do is tell us why you want to win the bottle. Why does it sound great to you? And just put down your state, because this is are we doing an international, or are we doing a USA giveaway?
Only the US and Canada.
USA and Canada. Okay, so this is a USA and Canada giveaway. So put down your state if you are in the USA, and then also your country if you're in Canada. Other than that, that's pretty much all I have. I appreciate you taking the time to do this video. Very exciting brand, very exciting fragrances. Lots of great new fragrances to look forward to. If you guys are interested, go sign up for the subscription. I think it's a great idea, and you get month-to-month fragrances. Other than that, Fabrice, do you want to say anything else?
I just want to say goodbye and thank you so much, Sebastian. It was awesome.
You're welcome. Yeah. Nice to see you again after we met, 5 years ago at SACS?
Something like that. Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah. All right.
All right, thank you so much for watching that video. I know it was long, but it's very detailed. You get to learn all about Fabrice and his brand, Scents of Wood. And yes, his previous brand was all about flowers, and that's how I met him, through that brand, as a rep for the brand at SACS for an event I went to. But this is very different. These are all about woody notes. It's a very, very interesting concept, the whole subscription thing. But as I said, you can buy full bottles or sign up for the subscription. And month to month, you're getting a brand new fragrance. And he's launching a brand new fragrance every month, which is a very, very interesting for a brand. He's already got 20 fragrances as of this video, when we shot it about a month and a half ago. So yeah, great brand and some great fragrances. I really love Plum and Cognac. I also really love Praline and Maple. I'm looking forward to his Bready Gourmand fragrance. Also looking forward to the Calvados Oud. So yeah, I want to dig deeper into the brand and also you know, check out all the fragrances. But you know, if you want to participate, as I said, in the Zoom, please let me know which fragrance you're interested in winning and why you want to win that fragrance. Why does that fragrance sound great to you? Also, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel and put down your state if you're in the USA, or of course Canada if you're in Canada. Good luck with the giveaway, and I hope you guys, as I said, enjoyed this video. Hope you have a Merry Christmas if you celebrate, Happy New Year as well. And stay tuned for several more Zoom videos I've got already shot, but they're just kind of behind and getting aired, and they'll all have giveaways. Well, most of them will have giveaways along with them. Either way, guys, I appreciate you tuning in today. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Bye-bye.